Hello, Anthony.
Jonathan.
Thanks for joining us.
It's okay.
I know I had to twist your arm a little bit to come on today.
Yeah, I'm not no actor. Yeah.
So I know you've got an engineering background, you're into your cars, and you've got a Toyota RAV4 hybrid, which is very popular. So it's been atop the sales charts for some time, top 5.
No, it's the top car after the dual cabs, the Toyota Hilux and the Ford Ranger. It's the next one on the list.
Yeah, and they've been vying for top position for some time, haven't they?
Yeah.
So what did you pay for it, if you don't mind me asking, on road?
It was about 47.5 without any extras. I got inside mats, rubber boot lining. The expensive items were the video cam, which is about $500, but it's a high quality. It's not like the one you buy at the local sort of shop. And I also got a tow bar, which I thought was outrageously expensive, but it was $1,147, which I couldn't believe. But I've found Toyota over the years are very good on the extras. They don't really rip you off, so it's probably what it costs. So. Plus a reasonable allowance for them to.
Anything else on your shopping list at the time?
Because I knew long term that I wanted to downsize from the Prado, which was, at that time, Prados were 8-seaters and it was chewing 15 litres per 100 kilometres. I'd see a car in the traffic and I'd go home and look it up on the internet and do a bit of research. I probably looked at, 50 cars probably, and all different ranges, and I'd go home and say, no, it's too expensive.
So what were the main reasons for going with the RAV4 at the time, would you say?
Having driven lots of all-wheel drive cars, I had a Subaru Forester years ago, and I had the Prado I had was not only four-wheel drive, it was an all-wheel drive, and it's a very secure way of driving. I wanted an all-wheel drive. I was keen on the hybrids because I wanted to save fuel. And I log all my fuel usage. So it does 5.2 kilometres per 100, 5.2 litres per 100 kilometres. It's ideal. They say it could get 4.8, but that's theoretical. Yeah. But it gets 5.2.
Close to the mark.
Pretty close to the mark. Yeah. Depends how you drive it, of course.
Anthony, how many kilometres have you done so far?
Done just over 25,000. That's in 21 months.
And this is, I noticed, is the Cruise, isn't it?
This is the Cruiser.
Top of the range?
Top of the range, yeah.
So what sits underneath it?
So it's got the GX, GXL and Cruiser. All of them have got all of the safety things there. You don't get more when you go up.
All the safety sense.
All the safety sense and all the whole suite of safety, blind spot monitoring and rear cross traffic alert and lane trace assist and all that sort of stuff. It's in every car.
So you mentioned hybrid's been a lot more popular. What's the price differential between that and the ordinary petrol?
For front wheel drive, I think it's about $3,000. And then you pay a bit more for the all-wheel drive because you get an extra electric motor and so on like that. Yeah.
From a practical point of view, so you downsized from a Prado. Have you lost out on some of the space, or you're still happy with what you got?
Haven't lost out much because the Prado didn't have any boot space once you had 3 rows in it. Only had a small amount of boot space. So the space I had in that is about equivalent to what I've got in this. And you get back down to 5 seats of the Prado. So there was really no difference. It was just a bigger car chewing a whole lot of juice.
So I think Toyota's had this hybrid synergy system for about 2 decades now in Australia.
Bit over that, yes.
So this is about the 4th iteration, I believe.
The hybrid has a 2.5 litre petrol engine. It has an 88 kilowatt electric motor in the front. And in this case, because all-wheel drive, it has a 40 kilowatt electric motor in the back. So how it works, it's not a plug-in hybrid. So you don't go home and plug it in. It recovers its energy from braking and even sometimes just going downhill. Even if you're not braking, you just got your foot off the accelerator. So it recovers a lot of that energy and stores it in the battery.
When you're coasting.
When you're coasting or braking, and then it reuses it after. So it uses, for braking, it uses a combination. It turns the electric motors into generators, which provides resistance. A combination of that and the disc brakes, and it's all worked out with their onboard computers, and it feels like an ordinary brake. It doesn't feel any different, but a lot of it is just recovering that energy you've lost from previously accelerating.
Yeah. And the petrol motor itself has to power a generator as well, is that correct?
The petrol motor can also power directly, yes. Power the charge. Yeah, it'll run one of the. It'll run. Sometimes if you're sitting in traffic, you're sitting for a long time. It'll turn back on, and it'll turn one of the electric motors into a generator, and then use that to charge. Yeah. So once again, if you're sitting there, and it has to come on because you're starting to get a bit low in the traction battery capacity. If it's going down, it'll recharge it.
Yep. And when do those motors kick in? I think when you're at low speed, it's using an electric motor.
Generally, yes, low speed. The good thing about it is that it when you're stopped and the petrol engine stops, it doesn't have a starter motor. So this doesn't use the 12-volt battery for much at all. It uses it for the lights, dashboard, and radio, etc. But this, it starts off on one of the electric motors. But if you push really hard, that's only an instant to kick the petrol engine back in. So it starts off and the big electric motor turns the motor and keeps it going. Yeah.
So if you mash the throttle, both the electric motor and the engine.
Yeah, particularly if you're going uphill, everything will kick in and it goes like a rocket.
No delay?
No delay. Yeah, no delay. Goes like a rocket. I don't do that very often.
In terms of the battery tech, so the plug-in ones are using lithium ion. Toyota's still using a nickel metal hydride.
For the RAV4, they're using lithium ion for the new Yaris hybrids and the Yaris Cross hybrid. They've gone to lithium ion. Probably because they've got smaller batteries, and I suspect lithium ion's got a higher capacity, I don't know. But they're using nickel metal hydride because in cold temperature countries, it has better deep charge capability. That was their reason for using it.
I see. Yeah. Let's have a look at the boot space you've got here. Power tailgate.
Power tailgate, which is handy.
Just on the Cruiser?
I think it's just on the Cruiser, yes.
That's a good amount of space in there.
It's got a cargo cover. So it's got a lot of space. You can always fold the seats down, well protected at the back. One disadvantage of the car is it doesn't have a full-size spare.
Oh, you got a space saver in there.
But it's got a room for a full-size spare. And their argument is that you can lower this down to the next level. You can lower that down.
I see.
And that will
make
give
it
you
a little
more
bit
space.
deeper.
But with a rubber liner on, that's probably a bit impractical. And I feel a bit insecure with the space saver spare. It's obviously an economy thing. It costs more money. Toyota's got to stay competitive.
I reckon compared to previous generations that Toyota's certainly improved the feel of the cabin. Would you agree?
Yeah, no, it's as the chief mechanic said at the place I bought it, this is a big step up for Toyota. It's more like a Lexus sort of feel about it. So, and he's been with Toyota for 35 years or so. So this one, the Cruiser's got a leather interior, which you can get black, which I don't like because everything looks completely dark. Or we can get the tan coloured. So we went for the
two-tone.
Yeah, two-tone.
Does look good.
Black dash and two-tone. Got a large screen, a touch screen, and obviously it's got a reversing camera. It's got cameras front and back.
Yep.
It's also got cameras below the side mirrors, so that in the Cruiser, there's a button you push when you pull into park. It shows you exactly where all the lines are. What it does is it does a composite of that whole picture from those four cameras, puts them together. It gives what looks like a bird's eye view of the car coming into the parking space. And that was a big winner. The Cruiser also has heated front seats. It has a 10-way power-driven driver's seat. It's got auto-sensing rain wipers, but that's on the whole model range. It's auto high beam if you activate it, and it's auto locks, auto lights. It really spoils you. It's got the lane trace assist, which beeps you if you get out of your lane without putting your indicator on. It's got what I find really handy. I can drive into a car park, so I'm backing out and I'm between two big cars. It's got that rear cross traffic alert, so it really lets you know if another car is coming.
I do like that.
Yeah.
It works well as well.
Works really, really well.
Behind the wheel, talk me through that. What do you think in terms of handling?
It's Toyota has really got this right. It handles and road holding is a real pleasure. It just drives really beautifully. It's got the right compromise between firmness and but having enough flexibility to sort of go over the bumps.
A quiet drive as well?
Quiet drive, very quiet drive when just the electric is on, but it's still pretty quiet drive. I mean, if the engine cuts in and you're really pushing it, you'll hear it, but it's not noisy.
And performance to boot, you mentioned earlier.
Performance to boot.
Anthony, let's go for a bit of a drive, if that's all right.
Okay.
Hearing nothing at the moment.
No, nothing at all. Yeah, it's going quietly underneath.
So does the petrol kick in at a certain speed, or
once you push it a bit, it'll kick in. was still only on the electric. Now it's just on the front wheel drive electric. And now it's recharging because I'm cruising, so the green shows that it's both the electric motors are recharging.
So that motor off again? It's still on?
No, it's still on because it's driving the front electric motor into generation mode.
How do you feel about the CVT?
It's fantastic. I was a bit sceptical at first, but it's very smooth. It drives like a normal automatic gearbox.
You don't feel any shifts though?
Don't feel any shifts. Don't feel any shifts at all.
I am impressed with you how you really don't feel the engine coming on and off.
No.
You know, there's not that process of starting the engine like you get ordinarily.
Yes, that's right. It's very well harmonised in terms of how they control it all. Like now it's
off
charging,
again.
and I'm braking as well now, so I'm going downhill. That will definitely charge the battery back up again. The other thing about this, it comes with unlimited kilometres, 5-year unlimited kilometres, and that turns into a 7-year if you get it serviced with Toyota. It becomes a 7-year unlimited kilometre. The warranty on the battery is 8 years.
Yep.
Once again, if you get it checked once a year with the Toyota, it goes out to 10 years. But it's expected to last the lifetime of the vehicle. The servicing is very cheap. It's only $210 a year, and that's up here on this sticker here. For the first 5 years, you only pay $210.
Okay, so that's once a year servicing?
Once a year, or 15,000.
15,000.
Whichever comes first.
In terms of your original expectations, I know you went in well researched with your purchase. Has it met those?
Yes, it has. Yeah, no, it drives really well. The economy is fantastic. It's cheap to service, and yeah, I just love driving it.
Yeah, yeah. So would you recommend it to others out there interested in a RAV4?
Very much, yeah. Yeah, I'd give it a 100% recommendation in that respect. Yeah.
Okay.
You won't be disappointed.
And give us a score out of 10.
I'll give it 9 3/4.
All right, 9 3/4.
I'll take a little bit off because I think they should at least offer a full-size spare, especially since it's got space. Now, a lot of cars don't have space, but it has the space. So, and we're probably going to do a couple of trips, and we're going to probably buy a full-size spare, because if you're out on a long country road and you're a long way from anywhere, space savers are really just to get you home.
That's right.
For a country the size of Australia, I don't think that's...
No, they don't recommend you staying on the space saver for too long.
No. So I think they should at least offer as an option. I know they've got to stay competitive in the overall pricing, and I understand why they did it, but at least it's got the room, but it's been a great car. Otherwise, I'd give it 10 out of 10.
Good, fantastic. All right, thank you again.
All right, thanks, Jonathan.
Cheers.